You ever look at some people and wonder how they get so much done, but they never seem to be scrambling? We're always told the secret is just to work harder, put in more hours. But what if that advice is the very thing holding you back? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real secrets that separate the merely busy from the truly productive. I mean, really think about this for a second. We all know people who work incredibly hard, long, grueling hours, but they're not seeing those massive results, are they? This question really gets to the heart of it. If just raw effort was the secret sauce, the world would look completely different. So here's the big idea. High-level productivity isn't about doing more. It's about thinking differently. It's about shifting our whole mindset from this hamster wheel of activity on the left to the smarter, strategic thinking on the right. We're talking about moving from more hours to more leverage, from more willpower to more clarity, and from just more activity to more restraint. So first things first, we have to tear down this great productivity myth. You know the one. We're all taught to see a packed calendar and think, wow, I'm making progress. But being busy, just running from meeting to meeting, clearing an inbox that never ends, it's often just a trap that feels comfortable, but it's not actually moving the needle. So what's the alternative to just being busy? Well, that leads us to our first huge principle, thinking in leverage. This is all about changing the fundamental question we ask ourselves. It's about shifting from, was I busy today, to did I create real impact today? So what do we even mean by leverage? Well, it's any action that multiplies your results. Think of it like this. Answering one email is a one-to-one task. It takes time, it gets one thing done. But creating an automated system that handles 100 common emails for you, that's leverage. It's how you escape that trap of just treating your time for tasks. And listen, this isn't just some nice theory. This insight from the Harvard Business Review says it all. The most effective leaders, the top performers, they aren't productive because they're doing more stuff. No way. They're productive because they make a few really high-quality decisions that create this ripple effect of massive results. Okay, so that leads to a really important question, right? If the quality of our decisions is the real engine of our productivity, how on earth do we protect that engine? How do we keep it running at peak performance? Well, the answer isn't what you probably think. What's so interesting here is the shift in what we value. Most of us are obsessed with managing our time, but high performers, they know the real, truly finite resources are our attention and our energy. Think of it like a battery. Every single tiny, pointless decision you make all day long, it just drains that battery, leaving you with less juice for the decisions that actually matter.
And we've got the hard data to back this up. Research out of Stanford found there's a productivity cliff, and it happens right around 55 hours a week. After that point, you're pretty much just spinning your wheels and creating fatigue. High performers get this. Exhaustion leads to bad decisions, and just one bad decision can wipe out weeks of hard work.
So that brings us to the next big idea. You have to design a system. Because let's be honest, if you're just relying on motivation and willpower to protect your energy and make good decisions, you're gonna fail. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. A good system, though, that runs on autopilot. Just look at this comparison. Relying on motivation is this high-energy, totally unpredictable roller coaster that gives you, at best, sporadic results. But a system is low energy, it's consistent, and it delivers results that compound over time. It's the difference between trying to start a fire from scratch every single morning versus just flipping a switch. And the simplest, most powerful system you can create is this one right here. Deciding in advance what you will not do. I'm telling you, this one idea is a complete game changer. It's like building a fortress around your focus by making the rules before the game even starts. So what does that look like in the real world? It looks like a no list. Saying no to meetings that don't have a clear agenda or purpose. Saying no to those shiny new opportunities that just pull you away from your main mission. Saying no to requests that are really more about someone else's ego than about real progress. Every single no on this list is a powerful, strategic yes to what actually matters. Okay, so we've got our leveraged mindset, we've got our system in place. Now let's talk about actually doing the work, execution. And this is where things get really counterintuitive, because to move faster, you actually have to learn to slow down. This is the default setting for so many of us, right? We feel buried, we feel like we're behind schedule, so what do? We rush, we react, we operate in this constant state of low-grade panic.
It feels productive, but it's total trap.
High performers, they just flip that script entirely. They slow down on purpose so they can plan and think ahead. By anticipating problems and getting crystal clear on the goal before they even start, they minimize all that last-minute urgency and avoid costly mistakes. They aren't just reacting to fires, they are deliberately acting on a plan.
And a huge part of executing with clarity is learning to defeat perfectionism. Perfectionism is a momentum killer. It's always waiting for that perfect moment that, let's face it, never arrives. High performers, they embrace imperfect execution. They start now, they get feedback, and they iterate. That's what creates real momentum and speeds up the learning process. And look, you absolutely cannot execute with clarity if you are running on empty. This is non-negotiable. Top performers treat sleep and recovery as a critical part of their work, not some reward they get after it's all done. It's a strategic necessity because they know a tired brain makes expensive mistakes.
Now, the final piece of clear execution is getting into the delegation mindset. So many of us get trapped thinking we have to do it all ourselves, but the process is simple. First, you identify the tasks that don't need your unique skill. Second, you delegate them without feeling guilty about it. And third, and this is the most important part, you reinvest that time you just got back into the high leverage thinking that only you can do.
And all of this brings us to our final and maybe the most profound principle of all. If you remember only one thing from our time together, make it this. True next-level productivity isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about the art of subtraction. First, you subtract the noise. This means you have to intentionally tune out all the endless opinions, the irrelevant data, and the chatter that clouds your judgment. You're looking for the signal, not the noise. Next, you subtract distraction. And this isn't passive. You have to be aggressive about curating your environment. You literally build a bubble to protect your focus from all the notifications and interruptions so you can do the deep work that actually creates value.
And finally, and this one can be tough, you subtract the ego. You stop doing things just to look good or to get approval from other people. You focus only on the work that delivers real, measurable results, no matter how anyone else perceives it.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question to really think about. Forget about what you can add to your to-do list. Instead, ask yourself, what can you take away? What is the one meeting, the one task, the one distraction you could subtract this week that would multiply your focus and your results? The answer to that question might just be the most productive thing you do all year.